It's May 19, 2012. This is Justice Done Dirt Cheap. Just sharing some legal concepts for your consideration. Things you might not have thought of before. Trying to bring some insight into how the judicial system works in Canada. The concept I want to share right now is it's called Judicial Notice. And Judicial Notice is a concept where something is so obvious that you don't have to argue it to make your point. Judicial Notice is would be considered for one to say that there's a certain statute that exists in New Brunswick, say the Residential Tenancy Act. One does not have to prove that the Residential Tenancy Act exists because it should be taken as an obvious fact, and the judge should be considering the Residential Tenancies Act. Now, another thing is the rules of court. The rules of court are another thing that the judge should take judicial notice of. One does not have to prove that these rules of court exist because the judge is supposed to be familiar with all the rules of court. So when one refers to a rule of court, they don't have to argue that the rule of court exists, they just argue the application of how it relates to the circumstances before the court. Other things that are supposed to be taken under judicial notice would be that the sky is generally blue during the day. Things that are basic scientific concepts or so basic that they do not require any proof. That's the idea of judicial notice. The judge should take judicial notice of these things. Also, the judge should take judicial notice of basic legal concepts, such as one's right to be heard, to be before an unbiased adjudicator. So, I just wanted to share that thought for your consideration. Judicial notice. When one brings that before the court and says, I would like the court to take judicial notice of Rule 3.02 of the Rules of Court, it should be accepted as a fact that Rule 3.02 of the Rules of Court exists, and then one just presents how that rule applies. And Rule 3.02 of the Rules of Court deals with an extension of time or abridgment of time regarding the rules of court. So that's the basic thought, the basic concept. Thanks for listening. This is Justice Done Dirt Cheap in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Have a great day.